All right, guys, let's get started. Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are well on this Monday morning, and we'll start with our today's session related to web scraping with Python. And last week we have completed two sessions, wherein in the first session we covered the basics of e-commerce, and in the second session we covered the basics of you can say GitHub, Git and GitHub. Okay. And I have mentioned at that point in time that Git and GitHub is basically an extensive topic, and we'll be covering it in every session. Like we'll be doing some or the other activities related to Git and GitHub. Okay. So having said that, I'm planning to start with a new topic today, and this topic is related to regular expression, and the next topic would be XPath. So both of these topics, regular expression and XPath, are very useful in terms of web scraping, because these are the tools or techniques through which you would be fetching some data from the web page. Okay, so you need to know how regular expression works. In general, the concepts of regular expressions are important, and how you can use it in Python. And the second topic is how to work with XPath. XPath is again a language, a query language that we use to fetch the data from the HTML pages. Okay, so we'll go with the regular expression topic first, and then we'll understand and implement it. And then with the help of certain use cases, we'll see how regular expressions can be useful for getting the data, fetching the data from the web pages. So fetching the data from the web pages is something that we can see in the next session. Okay, but today we will be focusing on how to use regular expressions in general and how to implement it in Python. That is the first topic. And second topic will be on XPath. Okay. With that said, I will start with today's session. I hope I am audible to all of you, and my screen is visible as well. Just
Yes,
confirm me. Thank you so much. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll first visit a website. The name, so I think it is regex 101. Okay, that's correct. So guys, you can also try to perform the same activities at your end as well. So regex 101 is the website. It's a web application that we would be using, and trust me, it's a very nice application to learn how regular expression works. You can implement your own regex commands over here and see it in real time, whether they are correct or it needs some modifications, and you will get the results instantly over here. Now, first we will try to understand what regular expression is. Okay, so regular expression in a very simple layman terms means that you write a specific command. Okay, and that command is responsible to fetch specific pattern from your sentence. Okay, when I say that, I simply mean, let me write something over here to make you understand. uh, Elon Musk number is, I'm just writing something random. Okay, so there's no specific thing. I mean, this is just a sentence I'm creating over here. You have any questions about Dogecoin? So some of you who are doing cryptocurrency must be aware what Dogecoin is. Okay, anyways, my point over here is, this is my sentence. Okay, this is my sentence, my text over here. And my intention is to fetch a specific pattern inside this text. Let's say the pattern is the number, which I have highlighted over here. Okay, so guys, this regular expression 101 here, we basically use to create regex commands, and those regex commands we apply on certain string over here. In this box, we write some text, some string over here, the commands we enter over here. Okay, and on the right side, you see three sections over here: explanation, match information, and quick reference. So if your command is able to fetch the pattern successfully, it shows up in the match information, and the command that you have written over here, it gets explained over here automatically, which is a very beautiful and very nice way, or nice feature of this tool. Like whatever command you write, it gets explained over here automatically. And the third thing is quick reference. It's kind of a help section wherein if you have some query, let's say, if I'll show you one more thing. So if you have some query related to regular expression, it's kind of a help documentation wherein you can refer what exactly you need to create your regex command. Okay, so most of the stuff in the middle pane and on the right side, you can use it to create your regex command. On the left hand side, you can select Python because you are using Python as in the language in which you will be performing regular expressions. And there are some other languages support as well. If you are using Golang or if you are using Rust framework, Rust language, then you can select them as well. Okay. We would be selecting match because we are trying to match a specific pattern in this string. Okay. I hope all of this basic information is clear. If not, please feel free to ask in the chat window. I'll try to answer it as soon as I see. So having said that, I've mentioned some command, some text over here, and my intention over here is to identify the numbers, okay, over here. So what do I do so that the numbers gets identified successfully? What do I do to what command I should write so that the numbers gets identified successfully? So let's say, for example, if I write 9, the moment I write 9, you can see over here, it gets highlighted a bit over here. All the 9s gets highlighted. Let's say if I write 1, 1 gets highlighted. So now 9, 1 is getting highlighted. Okay. So in this case, if you see the match information, you can see the match is 9, 1. Okay. Let me write completely. It's, I think, triple nine, triple nine, 1, 1, 1. As soon as I'm proceeding ahead with the exact number, everything is getting matched. It simply means that I am exactly using the characters over here inside my regex command to match it. And now you can see the response, the answer over here that, okay, the match is successful. If I would have written something other than this, let's say 787878, is there anything matching? No, nothing is matching. Okay, so I hope you are understanding how this tool works. Okay, but anyways, we won't be writing here number exactly, otherwise it would not make any sense, right, to just write the same number over here. So we would be using some commands called as regex commands. We will be using regular expressions. These commands are nothing but called as regular expressions. Okay. Now in regular expressions, there is a you can say a you can special character. Okay. So we call it as character or special characters, as you can see on the right hand side, to denote a specific number. Okay. If I have to denote a number, I'll write \d. If I have to denote specific number, then I will write \d. The moment I write it, D denotes for digit. Any digit, if I have to uh, denote it inside regex command, I'll mention it as \d. Okay. So how many times I have to write it over here? 10 times probably, because if I write 10 times, then only the entire number gets highlighted and you can see the match as exact number. So what it does is this command basically parses this entire string to see if there are 10 consecutive digits. If it finds 10 consecutive digits, then it will show that, okay, it has found a match. If I write 9 consecutive digits, then only 9 digits will be shown in the output. If I write 11 consecutive digits, are there 11 digits? No. So no match is found because it is checking for 11 digits in sequence. Is it there? No, it's not there. 10 digits are there. Hence, if I remove 1, you will see an exact match. But the important takeaway over here is any number, if I have to denote in a regex expression, it is denoted by \d. Okay, so you can make some notes over here, okay, which is very important. And this is one way of writing it, but a very tedious way. Like if you have thousands of number, you won't follow this approach, right? Because you have to write \d that many number of times. So what is the efficient way of doing this? The efficient way of doing this is you write just one \d. Okay, you just have to mention one \d, and after that, inside flower brackets, or what we say as curly braces, specify the number of times you want that digit to be repeated. So here it is 10. I'll mention 10 over here because there are 10 digits. And then what it does is it tries to parse this string, find out 10 digits in sequence. If it finds it, then a match is returned in the output. Okay. If I write 11, will it return anything? No. As we have seen earlier, it doesn't return anything. If I write 5, will it return anything? Yes, it will, because there were 5 digits until here. This was the first match, and again, it finds a second match over here with the next 5 digits. Are we getting it, guys? Are we trying to understand? Are you guys trying to understand what's the concept over here, what we are trying to achieve, and how regular expression works? I mean, this is just the beginning, okay? We will be going through more complex commands, but in general, if you have to identify any pattern which is related to numbers, then the regex expression would be \d. I hope that is clear. All right. This is working like array. Okay. Yes, it is working like an array, but there can be certain situations wherein there can be a space in between. Let's say, for example, this number over here has a space in between. And now, let's say instead of 5, I mean, initially this number was 10, right? Let me do one thing. Let's say this was the initial number as it is. And now to identify it, we used 10 \d 10, which means this digit gets repeated 10 times and it will check for 10 digits in sequence. Now, let's say in between somewhere you got a space. Now, it is checking for 10 digits in sequence, but how many digits are here in sequence? 5, and over here there are 5. Okay, so that way the regex command will break and you won't be able to do it. Yeah, there are different ways of doing it. There are other ways of doing it, and we'll touch upon it one by one. Like we can write 0 to 9, we can write we can make use of any other character, special character and all. So there are different ways of doing it, but primarily we have to understand the special character, which is \d. Okay, which is \d. Now over here, if we see, let me make it a little more complex over here and say something I'm writing, but just to create one example. Okay, and because this is a valid pattern of writing number, telephone number in US, hence I'm writing this specific format. My intention over here is to identify this second pattern over here. Okay, my intention over here is to identify this second pattern. So what would be the scenario? I mean, what would be the regex command? Now we need to know how this second pattern can be identified. Now guys, over here, you can see there are two parentheses. I mean, there's parenthesis over here. So let's say if I write parenthesis as it is, but then parenthesis itself are characters inside regular expression, so we cannot write it directly. We have to write a backslash before it so as to make it literal. So let's try to understand. If I just remove this backslash, then it is not considered as parenthesis anymore, but they are considered as special expressions inside regular expressions. So like how backslash d is a special character, likewise parenthesis is also a character, or you can say uh, command, a kind of command inside regular expression. We cannot use it as it is. To escape it, okay, or to make it void, we have to mention backslash behind it. It's a kind of way of representing that parenthesis, and now it will understand that it is to be treated as a literal string and not a special character. All right. Within this, I have to mention backslash d because it has digits. 888 is a digit. So I'll mention backslash d, and backslash d. After that, I'll have to mention 3 times backslash d. So now you can see the moment I have written this expression, 888 gets highlighted over here, and it's a match, as you can see on the right hand side. Okay, why I've chosen this second example over here? Because in the first example, there was just like a simple phone number, okay, which was a series of digits. And in the second example, we have digits, but in between, we have certain hyphen and then a parenthesis. And how do we identify that pattern? Using regex is the objective over here. Okay, so we have written parenthesis. To make those parentheses treat as a literal string, we have used backslash character, and inside it we have written slash d, which denotes digit, but we have written 3 after that because we know there are 3 digits over here. Okay, so my emphasis over here is how do we try to express this specific number using this regex command. Now, after that, you can write hyphen, isn't it? And then again, you could mention backslash d. And how many digits over here? Again, 3, isn't it? And now again, hyphen, again backslash d. And how many digits over here? 4, isn't it? And now you get a complete match. This is a proper regex command that we have written to identify a pattern, which in this case was the phone number in this string. Is it getting clear, guys? Am I making sense, or is it very confusing? I can understand regex initially for if you are doing it for the first time with all these special characters can be a little daunting sometimes, but trust me, if you follow me closely, you could do that. I mean, it's not an issue. Yes, absolutely. We can use 0 to 9, 10. Yes. In fact, try doing it 0 to 9, 10, but you have to use this specific syntax over here. So let me copy this. Let me copy this on a notepad. Copy this on a notepad. And so here, this is our first regular expression to identify that. Now, if instead of backslash d3, okay, I use 0 to 9, okay, like this, 0 to 9, and then I basically use 10 after that. No, not 10 directly, because it has hyphens in between. Okay, so maybe you would not use this, and let's see if that works. So here, there's one more way of writing this, as like there was one suggestion of 0 to 9, right? So what we can do is we can write parenthesis as initially, and then write a parenthesis over here, and inside that we write 0 dash 9 0 dash 9, and after that we can mention plus over here. Okay, as you can see, we got 888. Now what is plus? I'll explain it to you in just a moment. Please hold on right now. But what we are trying to do is we are basically trying to identify this first set of digits over here. Okay, after this hyphen again, and now what's next? Again 0 to 9. So you can mention 0 hyphen 9, and plus again hyphen 0 hyphen 9. I'm doing this because there was one comment on the chat, and hence we are trying to implement it the same way. And now we have a match. Now guys, don't get confused. I'll explain it to you what exactly this command is in step by step. I'll just copy this, or you can copy it from here, paste it on Notepad, and we'll try to dissect it to understand it better. Now what we are doing over here is we are saying that I need all the digits between 0 and 9. If there is any digits between 0 and 9, get that digit to me. So what it does is it parses the string, and specifically it sees, okay, there is a inside this parenthesis, there is 888, and it is between 0 to 9. So let's get it. But you have to write plus over here. Why? Because if you just write 0 to 9, what it will do is it will only try and fetch one digit. But I need all the digits of how many, like if there are 3, if there are 5, if there are 10 digits, whatever number it is, I need all of them. Hence I've written plus. Plus is called as a greedy character. Okay. So there are multiple types of characters inside regular expression. Few of them are greedy characters. So when you write a greedy character like plus over here, it simply means that you are trying to fetch all the consecutive characters after 0 to 9. So whatever numbers are there, it will try to fetch it. Until when? Until this hyphen. Until this hyphen. Okay. So I've written hyphen over here. After this, again, there are few characters, a few numbers. So I've written 0 to 9. But then I have to write plus again, because again, there are multiple numbers. So I've written plus here. And then again hyphen, because there was a hyphen in the actual initial string. And then 1123. 1123 is represented by 0 to 9 plus. I don't know why this GM has come over here. Okay, it was a part of this tool, like over here, global option. So these are global options, global, multi-line, insensitive, and all that. We'll go through it a little later. So somewhat it's not relevant as of now. So I'll just close this. But otherwise, this is your regex command. Okay, this is your final regex command, but it's in different format. So the same thing that we have done over here can be implemented in another way. And in regex, there are many ways to do a same task. So there is no wrong over here. Someone can do in some different way, and another person can use a different logic and a different set of characters to perform the same objective. Okay. So there's no right or wrong over here. The eventual aim is to get the final objective efficiently. Now, I hope until this point, you guys are with me. Any questions so far? Let me quickly look at the chat window. Okay, this is working like an array. Okay, we are good. Until this point. Perfect.
Hi, Ankur, Amit here. Sorry to interrupt. So there is I have a query here. So if we have escape characters in the string itself, how will we detect that? using regex.
Escape characters as in the parenthesis that we had. Let's say for this
No,
example, we
backward
use
slashes, single or double backward slashes if we have in the string itself. If you want to detect it or if you want to replace it using regex, how will we do that?
we can again put a backslash behind that. So backslash eventually is used to escape any character. So let's say the backslash is already there inside the string. Let's say, for example, this string itself has a backslash over here. Okay. Now this will break, isn't it? This will break. So we can mention over here a backslash at the uh, start of the string. But let me quickly check. We are having a backslash over here. So here there should be two backslashes, and now we get a match, isn't it? I hope you're getting my point.
Yeah, so accordingly, if we have two backslashes in the string, then it will be 4 like that, huh?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just give me a moment, please. I'm back. Okay, sorry for that short interruption. Um, where were we? Yeah, we were discussing about this scenario, right? Yes, Amit. So I hope you are able to understand, right, what I'm trying to say. You have a backslash over here, which I've purposefully kept in the string. And to escape that, I need one more backslash over here, this one. Okay, so it can be escaped through this way, and then you would be able to match that string. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, no problem. So now let's move ahead. I have a new question with me. I mean, that all of a sudden came to my mind. So how about, let's say, for example, let's say, I mean, in the same, in the same, you can say, scenario, if we have to fetch both the numbers, this number as well as this number, because see, I mean, if I write a Python code right now on this string, uh, in one iteration, I might get this number, and for fetching this number, I might need to write another logic, which really doesn't make sense actually, because then the number of lines inside the code will increase, and the code will be lengthier, and it is not optimized. So not a right way of doing it. How about if I write a regular expression in a smart way so that both of my numbers gets identified as a match? So I hope objective is getting cleared. I want to write a regex in such a way so that both of my numbers are getting identified. So I'll just quickly remove this slash. This was just for demonstration purpose. I'll keep it as it is. So this was my original regex. Okay, I've already copied it over here. This one. And this one was the regex for the first number, which is this one. all I need to do is use an operator over here, which is OR operator, a pipe symbol. You can see I've written a pipe symbol, which is denoting an OR operator. And then I will use the second regex command, which is this one after this. Okay. So now what my expectation is that possibly this specific, you can say regex command should give me the complete match. Okay. But right now, as you can see over here, it is able to not it's currently able to get me only the uh, first number over here, but the second number is missing, and we'll have to check why the second number is missing. If I go at the end,
So actually, the first expression is also for the 8881, right?
sorry, the first expression is for 0 to 9. Okay, let's reverse this. I think that's what you're trying to say. Let's reverse this, put a OR symbol over here. OR means pipe. Then do it this way when it's still not working, right? Because over here, what we are expecting is, I think I made some mistake over here. These both are exactly the same, I guess. So let me do one thing.
Yes, sir.
These are exactly the same. I have not copied the first one, which is, okay, no worries. I'll write it down over here. So what it means is, so to get the first string, we need \d and how many times? 10 times. That's all we need over here. \d 10 times, and we got the first match, which is this first number. Correct? And this one basically should get us the second, should have got us the second match as well. So why it's not getting the second match? Any suggestions why it's not getting in that match?
Maybe sequence.
Can we use and instead of or? Because in or we have to specify only one condition.
We need to use OR only, because in this case, right now, see, in this situation, we have two numbers. Okay, there can be 10 numbers inside a string, 15 numbers. We not necessarily count the number of instance, right? How many numbers are there if the document is large enough. So what we need is an OR operator, like whatever it is, you give us the match for those specific numbers. So what I'm trying to see over here is, just a second. Now I am getting \. So so the problem is with this one. Okay, we have to focus over here. Now, the second part is working correctly. The first part is somehow having some issue because it's not giving us this specific pattern over here. So we'll focus over here. We need \, for this parenthesis. Okay, that's fine. Then we need /d3, which is correct. And then we need a \, for this parenthesis, which is also fine. Then we need a hyphen /d3, which is also correct. And then /d4, which is also fine. Okay, now we are getting correct. Sorry, there was a space. I initially it was like this, and now I have just removed that space, and we got the second match. Are you able to get it? What exactly was the problem? Space is also treated as a character in itself, isn't it? So what it was expecting the space after this. After this, it was expecting a space. If I write a space over here, then that would have matched, but there was no space initially, right? Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the point over here is Right now, what we have implemented is we will find any number inside the string, let's say 5 number, 10 numbers, how many, whatever the instance of numbers it is, using an OR operator. And likewise, there are AND operators. Likewise, there are NOT operators. Okay, and or not. These are the three prominent operators that we use in regular expressions. Okay, and then there are subsidiary operators as well, which you can see. One very good site, I think, if you want to refer, I think it's, and every one of you must have used this at somewhere, like at any point in time we use. So it's W3 schools. Here you can see W3 schools regex. Yeah, they have it, and they have with reference to Python, which is also very good. Okay, try to refer this. If you have not visited this, then please make sure that you do visit this site, which will be helpful to you in understanding regular expressions. So what we are doing right now is basically trying to understand regex way of working, and along with that we'll implement it in Python also, because eventually this is our main tool, right, to implement web scraping. So understanding regex is one thing through these commands and all. This tool is basically helpful in understanding purpose, but then until unless we implement it in script, it will not make any sense. So now we are good until this point. So why not implement this in Python script immediately and then try to move ahead with another examples and another situations. Guys, for you, I have created a GitHub repository. If you go to my GitHub repository, do you have the link that I've shared the other day? If not, you can clone this. If not, you can clone this and download all the files, which has all the examples that we would be going through in today's session or maybe in forthcoming sessions. It has a IPYNB file. So for some of you who are using Jupyter Notebook, they can open this. It has a Python file. If some of you are using VS Code, then they can open this Python file here itself. There is one exercise for you, which I'll be explaining it in the end so that you can implement it. I would really want you to work on this exercise, and it will help you to implement regular expressions in Python. And then there is an XPath assessment, which is, I mean, we would not be, we have not covered that XPath right now, so we'll talk about it later. Anyways, so let's go back to our VS Code and I'll create a new file over here. Let's call this as regex underscore demo underscore one dot Python file. In Python, regular expression is a inbuilt module. So that's a very good thing because we need not install it explicitly. So guys, here's some familiarity with Python is needed. All of you, if you are familiar with Python, it's wonderful. If you are not familiar with Python at all, I would highly recommend you to start learning Python. Go to that w3schools.com. It also has a Python section over there, and you can, and it's very easy and easy in terms of beginners to learn from w3schools.com. So prerequisite over here is for this specific session and even for web scraping as well, that Python is mandatory. We have to import regular expression RE. So RE denotes for regular expression. That's the first thing we have to do. Now in our scenario number one, we have to extract phone numbers, and the string that I had, I'll copy it from here, which I had created over here. So this was my string, right? So let me call this as text is equals to, all of this code is present in that file that you would find in GitHub. Okay, use it as a reference, but before that, I would really recommend you to practice it side by side if you are doing it through during this session or after this session, try to implement it on your own. Okay, that would only help you in understanding the concepts. So we are mentioning this thing inside a string. So we are creating a variable called as text. Now, using regular expression, we have to find these two numbers, the first one over here and the second one over here. Now, if you write RE and then you use the function called as find all, the find all function will find all the matches that you have. Okay, so if there are 5 matches, 7 matches, all of them it will return. So inside find all, you have two arguments. One is called as pattern and another one is called as string. Now, what is pattern and what is string? So guys, string is nothing but this text that you have to provide over here. So this is nothing but text. So string argument will expect the text on which you have to pass, and pattern argument will expect from you a pattern that you want to detect. So I'll say pattern is equals to the same thing that we have written inside here. So I'll copy this directly and paste it over here. Just remove this GM from here, and that's all, isn't it? And then you can use this pattern variable here and substitute it for the pattern argument, and then apply the print function on top of it. So now the expectation is that it will pass this string, check for this pattern. Using the find all function, it will return the matched patterns, and like how many it can be this like 2 patterns over here, or if your string has 10 patterns, it would return all 10 patterns. Okay, as you can see in the output, we are getting a Python list over here in which both the patterns are being returned. Now, if you have a very specific use case, you can use some iterations, or you can get it out of the list. Do whatever you want. I mean, that is up to the requirement. But now this is how we basically fetched the pattern from the string using regex within Python. Okay. I hope guys, all of this is making sense. If I'm going fast, let me know it's fast. If it is very slow, then also let me know. I can pace it up. All right, next thing that we have to do is, there are other scenarios as well. Okay, now in this other scenario that you can see, there's, if you see this file that I have provided you, just open it over here, regular expression.py. This is your reference file. Okay, if you scroll to the top, so this is the scenario that we have implemented right now. Okay, now there's one more text over here. So let's do one thing. I'll copy this from here until here, until the text ends. Okay, and paste it over here. And in fact, I'll comment the above lines of code as well. This is our text, but the important thing is I'll uncomment this. Now I'll copy this text from here till here. I'll go back to my playground area wherein I'm trying to create regular expressions, and this is the text I've entered over here, and I'll remove the previous command. Now over here, what we're trying to do is we want to extract the title over here. So if you see the title over here, which is overview, is a title. Sorry. So overview is the title, and the next title would P, there was one more title, if I remember correctly. Here, summary of significant account policies. Okay, so this is the another title. So our aim is to extract these titles from this entire document. Correct? Now, how do we do this? Like using regex commands. First, we'll try to understand it here, and the moment we get this command, we'll use it inside our Python code. Now, both of the cases, the identifier is note. Okay, in both of the cases, the identifier over here is note. Here also, and if you see here as well. So why not we write note over here at the beginning? It gives us two matches immediately because there are two instances where this string appears in this entire corpus. So in why I'm saying corpus, because it's not a term related to regular expression, but a document or a group of documents, we call it as corpus in NLP, natural language processing. So this is note that has matched right now, and the next thing is a number over here. Now over here we have a number as well, so why not we write \d, which denotes a digit. After that we have a hyphen. Okay, so you can see some dots over here. Whenever you see a dots in between this specific thing, just remember it's the way this tool shows that, okay, there is a space in between two characters. Okay, so we can write \d and then we can mention hyphen over here. So hyphen gets matched. And now anything which is not a number, we can denote it by square brackets, and not can be denoted by this caret symbol, \n. Okay, but since there are multiple instances of this, we can mention a plus over here, or there's one more way of doing this. Plus, as I mentioned to you earlier, it's a greedy character, so it will take into consideration all the consecutive characters which are ahead until it encounters a space or a new line character. Okay, that's the purpose of plus. But then there is another special character called a star. And what the star shows, star means 0 or 1 character. You can at any point in time refer at the extreme right side. You can see there is a lot of suggestions over here. And now here you can see start of the string, which is caret that we have used. And somewhere here it should be a star as well. If you're able to see, let me know. A plus. Okay, but somewhere in general tokens you might see, or some anchors, somewhere stars must be given, or description of the star must be given. Here you can see 0 or more of A. So A is, assume that A was a character. So if there is any other character after this, 0 or more. Okay, so if there are more characters after A, it will also be considered. One or more of A, which is A plus, which we have already used earlier. Okay, so this is helpful. On the right side, try to leverage this, and then what we do is we get a match. So what's the match information, which is note 1 overview. But I was not expecting this. My requirement was a little different. My requirement was to get only the title and not this note 1 and all this. I mean, only the overview part and only the summary of significant accounting policies, all of this. Okay, so what we can do is, once your regular expression is able to identify the text, whatever information that you need to fetch and return back, you can apply a parenthesis at the end. Now what you are getting is, you are getting an overview. You can see this was the match, but then this was the group. So it's returning a group over here. So whatever it was there inside parenthesis, now it will be returning back. So it is returning overview. And now in the second instance as well, this was the match and this was the group which is which it is returning. So how to return a group? It is simple. Just use parenthesis on whatever section you need to be returned in the output. If that's clear, let's copy this. Let's paste it over here. I'll just paste it over here as in this. And again, what I'll be doing is re.findAll. We need a pattern and we need a pattern. And then we need a string. We need a text over here. Pattern would be nothing but this thing. Okay. All right. So that's fine. And this \n also looks like, I mean, this \n over here, caret symbol. So in Python, we have \n means a new line character in Python. Okay. But anyways, I'll try to run this and see if it works. If it doesn't works, all that we need to do is \n or something like this. But let's try to run this to see if it is able to return the required output. So I'll put entire thing inside print function, save this, and try to run this one more time. Okay, we are able to get this. So now, I mean, this \n was not able to give us an issue. I was expecting there could be some issue because it's a special character in Python itself, okay, which is a new line character. But right now it's working at our end. So this looks good. Okay, so this was the second scenario, the same thing. You can find it inside our reference notebook and it's implemented the same way, the way I have shown it over here. But trust me, guys, when you would be doing, I really expect you to do through some other techniques, okay? Because as I said, in our regular expression, there are different ways of doing same stuff. Is it clear? Any questions so far? I hope this is clear. Okay. Is find and search working similarly? See, there is find, there's search method, and then there's find all method. They work differently, actually. So if you see, there is a search method, and the search method will give you only one instance of the match. Like if I have to show it to you with this example, the previous one, okay, wherein we got two numbers at the output. Okay, so here if you use search, okay, we have a dedicated example of search. We'll take it at that point in time. But to give the answer to you, search will give you only one instance of the, and that would be the first instance of match, and find all will give you all the matches that are present inside your string. I hope that you got it. Okay, thanks for confirming. What was \n? Okay. It was this part here. So we defined the pattern over here. So this pattern was good. It was working fine inside your regular expressions tool over here. And it was able to get you the group and the matches. That's fine. The moment we wrote it over here, because of this highlighting, and even Python has a \n as a new line character, I was expecting, or I was suspecting, in fact, that this would not work, or possibly it would have some issues related to syntax, because it might treat this as a new line character instead of literally treating it as \n. Getting me? But I mean, to my surprise, it worked fine. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So now over here, what we are trying to do is we basically are trying to create or identify the patterns within multiple texts, or right now we are just using different strings, trying to identify numbers and so on. Okay, so over here, if you see this third scenario, which is a little trickier again. So in the third scenario, I'll have to copy it from this reference page. So please bear with me. I'll just copy this text from here and paste it over here. And we are done with this scenario, so I'll comment it. So let's comment it. Now this is our scenario. And in the third scenario, what are we expecting? We are trying to extract the financial year, and basically we will also try to extract this information, which is 4.85. So the gross cost of operating lease vehicles in FY 2021 Q1 was this, and in the previous quarter it was this. Okay, we are trying to find the financial year information. So as usual, I mean, I always prefer to use this tool for creating regex commands. So let's write the text over here. And in this, we are expecting, we are first, we are fetching this FY 2021 and all, right? So over here, we'll simply write FY, okay. All right, we'll simply write FY, and then here we can mention, let me first write it this way, FY, okay. So we have a first match. And then after this, we have 2021, which means that we need /t 4 times to get 2021. Okay. After that, we need to get the Q1 information. So we have a space over here, and then we need Q1, right? So either you can write 1 over here, but this is not the right way of doing it. You could mention 0 to 9, but I really do not suggest using this as well. Why? Anyone can think about it? Why I would not suggest using 0 to 9? Anyways, it is giving us the right answer. It is giving us Q1. That's correct. But why it's not the right approach of using? Why is this 0 to 9? This range is not the right approach to get this Q1. Any suggestions? Your voice is very low if you are saying something.
4 quarters, 1 to 4.
Sorry?
There
Four
can be only 4 quarters. No?
That's correct. That's correct. Absolutely. You are right. There can be only 4 quarters, 1 to 4. And hence we would give either 1 to 4 over here, or better, we I mean this would be the right approach, 1 to 4, because it has only 4 quarters, and then anything after this, like if tomorrow accidentally I write it as Q5, it will not be selected. Okay, so we write it as Q1. So now this way we are trying to get this information. So we are good until this point. Okay, and what's next? What else we need over here? We need to find this information as well, $4.85, $4.85 information as well. Correct. So for this, we need, you can use so to go until this point, anything which is not dollar, anything which is not dollar, or caret symbol that we have used earlier, we can use that. Okay, like this caret symbol, and then $, but if we write just dollar over here, so dollar is a character inside, special character inside regex. Okay, so to make it literal, I have to write backslash over here. So backslash dollar. Okay, now is it able to fetch it? I don't think so. So Q1:4. Okay, now it is good. And then I have to write plus. If you remember, we need to write plus because all the other consecutive characters needs to be passed. Okay. So anything which is not dollar, and now this part which is $4.85. So now this would be, again, I cannot write dollar directly over here. I have to write backslash dollar. And then you have to specify digits, which is backslash D. How many digits? Let's say, or you can specify even if you don't specify the number, that's fine because it's taking 4 over here. But the problem is with this 0.85, this decimal value. What to do with this? If I write point, again, it's a special character in regex, so I have to make it void to treat it as literal character. And then after this, I have to write plus symbol, which is considering the entire string. So FY 2021 was 4.85, isn't it? Now I only need over here this information 4.85 and this FY 2021. I don't need this was. And what I said earlier to you in the previous scenario was, if you want to get group of data, group of information, all you need to do is place parenthesis, and inside parenthesis you need to have that specific expression that will give you the value. So I need $4.85. Where does $4.85 starts? It starts from here. So I'll put it inside parenthesis. Sorry, I'll put this inside parenthesis. So it will give me 4.85, and I need FY 2021 Q1 also. So where it starts from here. So, let's say if I don't need FY because FY is common, right? I mean, FY, we have hard coded it. So we need only 2021 Q1. So from here until Q1, which is this point. So that's what we are getting, the first group and the second group. And this was the initial match, this one. Okay. I hope, is it getting clear through the way we have implemented this? There are many ways, any number of ways, as I said. Some of you might be using it through other than backslash D, right? Because backslash D is one of the special characters, right? There are many special characters you can refer from here. But is this way of implementation understood? Any queries on this? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, all we need over here is, I'm thinking of one more use case if we can have. In the previous quarter, this, okay, I'll leave one scenario to you. Tell me how you would implement it. I mean, if you are fine, if you have the answer right now, let me know now. Or if you have it later, you let me know later by trying testing. We need this as well. Okay, the second one, FY 2020 Q4. Now what I'm getting is 2020 Q4. This is good. This regex command is robust enough to get this information as well and this information as well. But there's one problem. This small case FY over here and this capital case FY over here. Getting me? The small case of y and capital case of y. So how in regular expression, I'm not talking about in Python, okay? How in regular expression you handle case sensitive and case insensitive scenarios is what you have to think about, or let's say you take it as an assignment, and let me know how it can be done. The second thing is, okay, this was the second scenario I was thinking about. Now the important point is, let's copy this command from here. I'll paste it over here. And in Python, this case insensitive situation is very easy to resolve. Very easy to resolve. And I'll tell you how. We use the re.findAll method. In re.findAll, we use the pattern, which is nothing but your pattern. Copy this. Okay. And if this is capital, small, that really doesn't matter. And here we'll have string is equals to text, comma. There is an argument called as flags, and we will tell, or instead we would supply a value inside flags argument that will make this expression case insensitive. We will say re.ignore case. Okay. So when we say re, means inside regular expression, there is a, inside this re module, there is an attribute called as ignore case. What it does is, whatever expression that you specify over here, it will use it to check for lowercase, uppercase, camel case, and so on. So it will make this expression as case insensitive. Okay. And then you can use print function on top of this. Fy over here is small, and here it is in caps. And if this is working fine, it should give us both the outputs, 2021 Q1 4.85 and 2020 Q4 3. Okay. I'll just comment. Okay, I have commented all of the stuff earlier. So I'll just run this. You can see the output here. We are getting a tuple. In the first tuple, you are getting Q1 2021, and then we are getting the second tuple of Q4 2020. Are we clear with this? Any questions, any queries on this part? This was pretty straightforward, isn't it? So now, how do we, with this knowledge itself, whatever we have learned so far, okay, right now with respect to digits and with respect to identifying characters using the group function. Now here there's one more scenario. There was one question someone asked me earlier. I'll need to check the chat window, but anyways, the question was, what was the difference between the search method, find method? So if you use the search method over here on the same scenario, here we are getting two outputs, right? Two patterns are getting matched. So if you apply the search method, it will only give you the first occurrence, which means it will only give you this result, and this result will be ignored, or even not even ignored. It will not even go to this second pattern to match. It will just stop at the first match itself. So re.search, okay, and here also you apply the same syntax. Pattern is equals to pattern, and string is equals to text. And I mean, you can use ignore case as well, re.ignore case, and then you can print this over here. I'll just comment the initial line number 49. And the expectation over here is it should return us only one instance. And you can see it gives us only one match, which is FY 2021 Q1 was 4.85. It gives us only one match. But let's say if we want to get the output in this format in Python, we have a method called as groups. It's the same way how that group works inside regex, like this parenthesis. If you run this, it will give you the output in the same format as earlier in the form of tuple. Okay. 2021 Q1 and 4.85. And as I said, search method will only give you the first match and the next matches will be ignored, or even it will not go to match the next occurrence. So you can use the groups method over here. It is only applicable on the search function. All right. Clear on this, guys? Now, before moving to the next part, now this information that we have gained with the help of regex at this point in time is okay, is enough right now, because regex is a topic in its own. It's an extensive topic in Python. If you go ahead, it will be like there can be dedicated section of on regular expressions, right? But this information over here is sufficient enough to get us Python web scraping. Okay. In Python web scraping, what we are expecting over here is we will be getting a text. Okay, before even getting the text, we will be getting you can say web link. We will be accessing that web link through some Python libraries like Beautiful Soup, requests. Okay, that will get us the HTML page in HTML document. That HTML document will contain all the tags, the text, the anchor tags, and the other links. And then we will parse it with the help of this regular expression, that the concept that we have seen. But regular expression in itself is not that much sufficient, because the problem with regex is that it works very well on text data. But in terms of web scraping, we are dealing with web elements wherein there will be multiple tags inside the HTML DOM, that document object model, right? We'll be having multiple web elements inside. And to scrap the data from there, we need a new tool, another tool, which is called as xpath. It's not a tool, it's basically a query language for XML, basically extensible markup language. It's a query language for XML documents specifically. And that query language basically extracts certain information, whatever information that you need to identify. Like here we are trying to identify the pattern. Over there we will be trying to identify the pattern as well, or a specific text within the HTML document. Okay. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now let's move on to the point, the new point, which is XPath. But before that, I want you to download and install something if you have not. So have you used Selectors Hub earlier? Any point in time you have used Selectors Hub? It's a plugin actually. You can see over here. It's a plugin over here, and that basically is used to extract certain web elements or certain elements inside the web page using CSS selector or XPath selectors. Okay, so yeah, that's the first thing. So you need to have Selectors Hub over here. There are other tools as well, like Selectors Gadget. You can see on the right side. So there are two tools I normally use. I use Selectors Gadget for CSS selectors and Selectors Hub specifically to create XPaths. Okay. So these are the two tools that we would need. Apart from the developer tools that we have. Okay. Apart from the developer tools that we would be using F12, we would be using this Selectors Hub and Selectors Gadget. Not Selectors Gadget that much, but then yes, Selectors Hub will be used very much. So before that, I would like you to, okay, all of this information I've given it to you in GitHub. You can download it from GitHub. And let me see the chat window. Python sharing tools, please share, sorry, not Python, please share the tools for those. Okay, the tools will be here. So you go to selectors hub, okay, and it's basically a plugin. So the second link would redirect you to selectors hub. Okay, now all that you need to do is click on install over here. It will automatically get installed as a plugin. Okay, I'll share it on the chat window as well so that you can use it as a reference. And selectors gadget also, it's plugin gadget. Selectors gadget. It's again a Google plugin. You can use it from here. Okay. So these are the two tools that you would use. Perfect. So now once you have installed it, just make sure you restart your browser. Okay. You need to close your browser again and then reopen it so that these tools can work correctly. Okay. Now, next point or next topic that we are trying to cover is this XPath. Okay. And before that, I'm trying to search one thing. Just give me a moment, guys. Which is XPather. Sorry. This is one more tool, very helpful one. And this tool basically will help you to this tool basically will help you to define the XPaths. Okay. So that's the third tool over here. I'll copy it and paste it inside the chat window. We will be using it. Okay. All right. So now let me see if there is something missing in terms of tools, because these are the things that we need, right? So we are good with selectors up, selectors gadget, and XPath. Actually, we are sufficient with selectors up, but why I am giving you the reference of these two tools is this one is very important for CSS selectors perspective. So like how XPath is used for identifying web elements, CSS selector is also one another technique of identifying elements, but not that robust. And then xpather is basically again used for XPaths, creating your XPaths, or you can say identifying the elements through XPath technique. Now, let's quickly move on to the main topic. We can choose any link. Okay, let's choose books2scrape.com. I think I have given the reference of this specific website earlier as well for some assignment, if I remember correctly. So you can use this website, which is very common a website for scraping purpose. I mean, they themselves mention that they love being scraped. So there is no restrictions in terms of scraping over here. It's a dummy website you can use for learning purpose. Now over here, we will be identifying web elements over here with the help of XPath. Now we have to understand one point, that if we write double slash while defining XPath, it will be used to locate any web element inside your DOM. Now, what do I mean by this? Okay, at first this thing might look very confusing, but try to remember what I've said. If I write double slash within the XPath command, then you should know that it will be used to locate element which is anywhere inside that page, inside that DOM. Okay, so if I do a right click If I go to inspect over here, okay, now you can see, let me make this, I'll click on selectors hub over here. You can see the selectors hub icon. So you can click over here. This is how selectors hub looks like. The middle pane is basically your document object model, DOM, as we call, okay, which has all the source code that are related to this web page. And now, if I write double slash, that I said double slash, okay, then what are we expecting? We are expecting that it will basically get me all the elements inside this web page. So if I write double slash and after that star, star is a wildcard character. Okay. So if I write star, it means it will get me all the elements which are anywhere inside that document object model. Sorry, there was one query over here. The Azure Bastion is giving me a connection error. Anyone else? What's this? Is it related to your lab? Azure Bastion. Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure about this. You need to check with your IT team. Should we wait or is there someone we'll check with Satish? Okay. All right. Okay. So I hope we can continue, right? Because I mean, anyways, the section will be recorded. You can refer it later if there is some issue with the lab. You can refer it later as well. So we can continue with the session. All right. So what I'm trying to suggest over here is that here in this box, in this field over here, on the right side, if you can see my cursor, you will be writing your xpaths that will be able to identify the web elements on your page. Okay. Now double slash as in forward slash star means that all the web elements which are present anywhere inside this DOM, they will be fetched. You can see, I mean, if I scroll to the extreme right and you can see this web page over here, everything is highlighted, isn't it? Not even a single thing is missed over here. Everything gets highlighted. And that's what this syntax does. So this is very useful syntax. So we'll try to use it. So I'll just again get this realigned. So this was about double slash. Let me make some notes so that we are clear. I'll in fact write it over here. Use to locate element present anywhere within the DOM. Okay. And if you use a single slash, single forward slash, then it will be used to locate an element, but that element should be a direct child of the parent element. Okay, so here I'll just write it first and then I'll explain. Used to locate an element as a direct child of parent element. Okay, now let's take one scenario over here to understand this concept better. If I want to scrape, so let me remove this. Okay, now we are back to origin. If I want to scrape this specific tag, this specific head header over here, which is books to scrape over here. If I only want to get this information. So let me inspect this. Okay. And since I've inspected it, so I just did a right click and clicked on inspect. And now we are at this point. So this is the specific element. It's an anchor tag, which has an href link. It's referring to this web URL. It has an xpath. Okay, this is just one more attribute, and this is its value. Okay, so guys, this is tag. This is a tag. Href is an attribute. Index.html is a value. Likewise, xpath is an attribute. 1 is a value. Books to scrape is a text. Books to scrape is a text because, as you can see, it's inside this anchor tag. There's no attribute and there's no value over here. It's a text, and this anchor tag gets closed. Are we getting this? Are you able to understand this architecture over here of this specific element? Now,
Yes.
this anchor tag. Okay, thanks for confirming. This anchor tag is within a division element. This division element is another division element, another division element, header tag, body tag, and yes, this is the body tag. Of course, I mean, in HTML, you have a head and you have a body. Okay. Now, the first concept that I explained you over here, slash. If you're using single slash, that means you have to define a hierarchy to locate an element. That means you need to first access the parent, then its child, then its child, then again its child, and then the target element. Okay, same approach will be applying over here. Same approach will be applying over here. Inside this box, I'll write my xpath. And guys, please pay attention how I'm writing my xpath over here. So the syntax would be in the notepad. I just mentioned how the concept is. So syntax would be, I'll first mention the parent tag. Then I'll mention the child tag. And then once I access that child tag, I'll access the actual attribute. So I'll say /@attribute name. Okay, all of this will make sense. Just give me a moment. So firstly, we will be accessing parent, then child, and then the attribute. So who is the parent over here? Body is the parent, the child is header, then the child is division, then division, then division, and then anchor. So let's write it this way. So firstly, body, then header, then division, again division, again division, and then anchor tag, isn't it? 1, 2, 3 divisions, right? Then anchor tag, yes. And inside anchor tag, what you need? Okay, let's forget about what we need right now. Let's run this. Do we get an element? Yes, we get an element. You can see the result over here. See my cursor over here. This one. This is the result of selectors hub. If you click this, you can see this highlighted in dots. The moment you click this, you get highlighted in dots. If you expand this, you can see books to scrape. This is the text that we want to fetch. If we want to fetch a text of any web element, I repeat one more time. If we want to fetch a text of any web element, like in this case, if you see the actual DOM, this was the text. We love being scraped is a text, right? If you see over here, books to scrape is a text. If you want to fetch the text, all that we need to do is use a text function at the end, and we'll get a text from that web element. What we are doing is we are parsing the web page to reach a target element. Once we get the target element, we are fetching text out of it. We are getting the text out of it, or whatever it is. Right now, we are dealing with web scraping. If someone was dealing with automation like Selenium, he would have not used text. Instead, he would have been happy to get this element and then perform some automation on that element. So use cases will differ based on the requirements. In web scraping, the main use case is getting data. So we are mostly concerned with getting the text, getting the values of attributes, and so on. In automation frameworks like Selenium or Playwright, we basically are more interested in interacting with the web elements, like clicking the web elements, scrolling the scroll bars, working with X frames, and whatnot. So there we are least bothered about text. Yeah, I mean, we will get text, but then we are more interested in interaction with elements. But the concept of XPath and CSS selector remains same. You can use it universally. So this is one scenario. I hope the concept is clear. I just missed one point over here. This is how you will access. So you will give / parent child attribute name. Okay. So / is used to locate. I missed star also over here. Sorry. We used to locate element anywhere in the DOM. So let's say if you have an anchor tag like this. Okay. So it will be used to locate it anywhere within the DOM. But if you use a single slash, so single slash means what? The child should be directly linked with its parent. There should be a hierarchy between the parent and child. It should not be like, okay, parent, then there is a child one, and then after that there is a child and you are directly accessing the child. It will not work that way. You need to completely mention the hierarchy like the way we have done it over here to access this anchor tag, which was inside body, header, div, and a tag. Are we clear on this point? Okay, I hope that's clear. Let's take few more complex scenarios. I mean, we are just starting, but then we'll try to take some more difficult scenarios. Let's say we also want this information. We love being scraped. This text is what we need. How do you get this text? Now, this is the question, guys. Either we follow the same approach. From the start, we keep on parsing and navigate until this small tag, because this small tag has this text, isn't it? Or you directly go to the tag name. So like I said, if you do / small, then hit enter, you see, I mean, in this web page, there is only one small tag, I guess. You see that element is retrieved or element is fetched over here. You can click on this. You see it gets highlighted, right? And you have a text inside it. So you can access it directly. No need to parse it from the root. So small tag, and then inside, where's the tag? Here it is. And here you have this text. So all you need to do is apply the text function the same way we used it previously. It will give you the result. So now I think both of the approaches should be clear to you. If not, let me know. Let's take a couple of other scenarios. How about these links that you have? Because these links basically are, like I think that categories link, like travel, mystery, classics, philosophy, and all. And if you want to extract all the values of these links, then how do we get this? Let's do one thing. I'll try to inspect one of them. So let's inspect travel. Okay, we are inside the travel. And you can see over here, it's an anchor tag and it has an href attribute and it has this link, which I am interested in. Okay. So how do I get the link, guys? How do I get the link? Any suggestions? I need these links of these categories over here. How do I access this element? Just give me a moment, guys, please. Very urgent call to attend. Just give me a moment.
पैसे पाठवले ना भाभीला पण आणि ते पिठाचे पण पाठवले.
Okay. Guys, I'm back. So many questions we have. 1, 2, 3. I'm not able to see the chat window. 1 second. Question, is this the right way, parent, child? I didn't get this question actually. What exactly is your point? Double slash parent. Is this the right way? So the right syntax, if you're talking about, is there are the two ways actually to approach an element. Two ways to identify a tag, identify an element, sorry. One is either you parse from the root. In that case, you would basically do something like this that I've shown you. You have to first write the parent element, tag of the parent element, okay? Then let's say child1 ka tag, okay? And then child2 tag, okay? And then so on and so forth. This is one way. But now if you directly want to access child2, if you directly want to access child2, then why not you go to child2 like this and then get the text out of it, or whatever it is, like whatever you want to do. You want to get the attribute name and then value, you can do that way also. Are we getting? Is I hope this is the question, exact question which I'm trying to answer. Okay. The second question is, we will get all the href elements, then append each captured link to the page URL. Okay, this was about the question that I have asked you before taking that break. Okay, it will give us a list of actual web URLs. Okay, we'll discuss this in just a moment about this point. UL class nav list. Okay, this is the same answer. I mean, the answer to the same question. Okay, I'll take a copy of this and I'll use it. Okay. Okay. And perfect. Let's take this one as well. Okay, we have two answers and we'll make use of these two answers and see how how exactly we get this. So UL means unordered list. This tag is an unordered list, and inside this unordered list, you are using the class attribute. The value of that class attribute is nav hyphen list, and then after that you're accessing the list, the anchor tag, and the href attribute. Now let's see exactly how it works. Let me go back to the exact element. This was the exact element, isn't it? Travel. Like if you get one, if you are able to do for one element, you would be able to do for all the elements. That's how the trick is. Okay. So UL li a. I think UL li a at the rate href at the rate href. Okay, it looks good. And then inside UL, you mentioned, okay, find out all the UL who have a class of this nav list. But where is this nav list here? Ah, you're referring to this one, I guess. Yeah, this one you are referring to, not this one. Inside UL li and this a. Okay, this will work for sure. Let's run this and see if it gets me the travel element. Okay, we are able to get the travel element, and in fact, we are able to get the value of the href, which is catalog slash category slash books and what slash index.html. Okay, so guys, I hope you are able to understand, because I also just gone through this specific xpath and have traversed it. Like inside this DOM, whenever you write /ul or /tag name, whatever tag name, it is searching in the entire DOM that tag name. So it got that tag name UL, but there can be many ULs, unordered list. If you search up, down, you will find many unordered list. But I am saying, give me that unordered list whose class is this value. Once it identifies this, I am parsing ahead to get a list item inside it. Inside list item, I am trying to get a unordered, inside list item, I am trying to get an anchor tag, right? It's inside this list, no? Anchor tag, and then an HRA attribute of it. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. Perfect. Let's check our second answer over here. UI li, UI, UL li. This also will work, and it will work because it has been parsed one by one, and you see all the hrefs for all the web elements. Perfect. Third one, we have a third result as well. Let's try this. Okay, good. We are also getting this. Perfect. Now, guys, I am thinking in a little different way. Whatever answers you have given, they are 100% correct. But my suggestion always is try to, we'll try to keep things very simple. Okay. Very simple in that terms means like we'll try to use less code, because Python, when we are using Python, Python is meant to write less code, because if you compare it with any other object-oriented language like Java or anyone, you might have seen the difference, the amount of coding that we need in Python versus amount of coding we need in other languages. So that is one aim, less code and maximum optimization, maximum efficiency. And the same approach should be applicable elsewhere. Now, in all of the examples that you have given, one thing that I can easily see is that you are passing, all of you are passing from unordered lists. And why is it so? Can we not go directly to the A tag over here? Can we not go directly to the A tag over here and get the information of our choice, or like href? I hope you are able to understand what I'm trying to say. Double slash A, double slash A slash @href. If I run this, how about this? It was, I mean, simple, right? Whenever you write double slash tag name inside your DOM, it will search your DOM with that tag name. So it is searching anchor tag and it will search href. But now here there is a problem. It is giving me all the anchor tags. It is giving me all the hrefs. Like index.html, I don't need. I don't need index.html. I don't need to see there are how many? 94 elements matching. And hardly this would be 20, 25, I guess. So unnecessary information is here, which we would handle it. Okay, which we would handle. That's a secondary case. But the first point to understand is that why not we directly access the element if it is accessible. If it was a shadow element, then I can understand. I mean, if you are not clear with what shadow element is, it's basically, you can say, a dynamic web element which is not rendered runtime, and specifically because of dynamic components like Ajax and JavaScript. Okay, we have one more chat for unique URL. You can use this. Okay, I'll take a note of this. I'll try this later. Mention it in the notepad. So this is our fourth answer. So now, so what I was trying to say is, we are directly accessing the anchor tag and we are accessing the href attribute, but this will give me all the noise inside the DOM. It will give me all the other things other than my categories of books. Now I need only those hrefs. Let me see if there is an identifier over here. @href we can use, which does not have a title. Okay. Hello, I'm audible.
Yes.
Sorry, I got on mute. No one said something. I was continuously saying something. I don't know until what point you have heard. Okay, no problem. I'm not sure until what point you have heard. But anyways, I'll start from just like I was trying to say, this anchor tag href basically will give us all the tags. Okay. After that, my point was like, is there any identifier through which I can distinguish these category of books with respect to other things? Like if you see the first one, okay, if you see the first element, this is an index.html, which I think should be at the top somewhere here. This is the index.html, isn't it? this one. Now, inside this anchor tag over here, there is also some text over here, but we don't need this text. All we need is this AHRF. So what I'm trying to do is, the next step would be, I try to apply a condition over here. So anchor tag, access all the anchor tags. Then access the href attribute, and see, I'm applying a condition over here, and it should not have any title attribute inside it. So guys, is there any title attribute in this target link, target element? No. And I'll say not, I'm using the not operator. And what I don't need is, I don't need a title attribute. So I'm saying and not @title. Okay. Let's see if it makes any difference. See, right now, out of 94, 74 are remaining. So somehow something has got filtered. But anyways, we are getting the ones that we need. This is like travel, mystery, historical, sequential. This is still there. That means we are on right track. If you see over here, we are on the right track. Okay. What I'm trying to do over here is, I'm basically trying to use certain conditions over here. That conditions should match the specific requirement. So and not title, and what else? If I scroll below, okay, if I click on here, you can see there is an image attribute as well. I don't need image, because if you see my links, if I scroll up, these are just a href. Inside the anchor tag, there is an href attribute and there is a text. There's no image. So why not write over here, and again, an and function, not @image. Okay. Still, I am getting these links, but this time I'm not getting, you can say, the rest of the things, isn't it? Rest of the things. And then you can further refine this. Okay, what exactly attribute or what exactly conditions you need. My point over here is that within this specific example, we have seen accessing that specific anchor tag, then creating certain conditions. This was condition 1. Okay. If I just remove this and run this thing, so I'm still getting the same results, 74 elements matching, wherein there is no title and there is no image. Okay, there is no title and there is no image. Just give me a minute, guys. Okay, guys. So this example over here, I hope, see, in this example, we can refine much more. Okay, we can have this done a little more granular way using the AND operators again, and then identifying what is not needed in this specific links. Okay, you can do that, but I have given you an idea how to write this XPath. Okay, and these XPaths is, I think I got one more suggestion from your side, which again I think is a good suggestion, and it is, I think we have used it, right? UI class nav list -li -a it. Okay, similar to this one. So in this specific scenario, we have basically directly accessed the anchor tag, and then we are applying this condition, and then try to improvise this condition. You will definitely get 20-25 web elements here, and you can use operators. So here we use an AND operator, we used a NOT operator, and in further scenarios, we'll also use OR operators as well, which is very much helpful. Are we able to get this point? Any questions in understanding this XPath? Okay, I assume there is no questions. I'll move to the next scenario. And this scenario, until this point, we are done, but make it more refined. I'm so sure that this can be done in a better way. But access only anchor tag. What I'm trying to say is access only the A tag and then perform some operations on it. So that way it would be a new learning. I'll paste this inside the chat window for your reference, and then you can use it. Then you can use it to create your own XPath and get only these 20 links and not other links. Now, if you move ahead to the new scenario, if let's say there are other books and images also I saw on this page. So scroll to the right, there are books, and then there is add to basket and all the other stuff. But how about if we want to find all those web elements for the books displayed on the home page? So in short, we are trying to inspect this. In short, we are trying to inspect this. And here we want to find all the href tags here, href tags, and we want to find the title also. You're getting my point? We want to find the href and we want to find the title. So where is the title? Is it here? Let's inspect this. Okay, here it is. This one. Instead of, I basically inspected the image earlier, but here we are referring to this web link. So I need the href and I need the title. Concept is same. Use an AND operator in between href and title, and you can get the values. And you can directly access the anchor tag as well. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make over here is I'll go to selectors hub, /A, which means all anchor tag. I need href and I need title. And @title. If I run this, I get the values, but let's say I need, okay, anyways, we got the href also, and we got the title also. And let's say if we want to find the text inside it, all that we need to do is apply the text function. You will get the text out of it as well. So whatever books, I think 20 books are present, and all the 20 books you can see would be here, like it's only Himalayas and you can see the other book names. So what we did is we access the element directly. We need the href, we need the title both. Hence we used an AND condition, and then we extracted text out of it. It was just for demonstration purpose. Otherwise, we were actually interested in the web elements over here. Are we clear? Any question on this part, on this scenario? I assume that's clear. Let's take one more scenario since we are already here. If there is, let's say if we want to fetch all the anchor tags with at least one child node. Okay, guys, I'll ask you this question. There is this anchor tag over here, right? So I want all the anchor tags with at least one child node. How do I get that? So it's simple. It's like, and again, /A, and at least one child node means if there is any child node, it will definitely return, because if I put this wildcard character star, correct? So it will give me all the anchor tags with child nodes over here, like image, like here image as well. Okay. So you can use this. This syntax will basically return the element. Okay. And there's one more way of doing this. If you can try this one as well, like /star should also work, right? You can also get the web elements, but here you are getting the actual value or the child node, which is present inside that anchor tag. So here you are getting the value inside that anchor tag. But in the above case, you are getting the element, the actual element, and then a node within it. All right, cool. Let's see. Let's move ahead. Okay, there's no questions. Now let's move ahead. What else we can do here? Okay, tell me, think about this. If you want to find all the div tags that has a specific value, let's say it has a class with the value row. Give me all the div tags that has class with the value row. Very simple. We'll go and directly write div, then the name of the attribute, which is class, equals to value as row. That's all. It has only two elements. Let's see what's there inside the element. Okay, so two elements wherein the div tag has the class value as row. Okay, perfect. Let's take. I hope all of this is making sense, guys. If you are not clear with the query or there is some confusion with the syntax, please highlight this, because this is something which is a foundation of our web scraping. Because in further courses, further sessions, in fact, we will be directly going through the Python code, and we'll be making use of libraries more. And these XPaths will be just a portion of it, like to identify the elements, but then it would be very critical one. So that time it would be difficult to discuss the syntax and all. So please let me know if you have any queries. Let's take one more example. Here I can see div tag, and again, if I have to take a little similar example, but with different class, I'm trying to think about it. Okay, we'll take this one, call SM8. So give me all the div tags that has the class value that contains call SM8. Okay, I'm interested in just call SM8, not H1, not header tag. Just call column small 8. That's all. So I just remove this row from here, and inside this I'll mention H. Okay, 0 elements. Strange. Div. Okay, there. I mean, ideally there cannot be any call SM8. I think in this DOM. So hence it is showing me 0 elements. So how about I make it more robust? I want all the div tags that has the class value as column small 8. So I can write this inside the contains function, isn't it? So I write contains, and inside this function you give a attribute name and then an attribute value. What's the attribute name? Attribute name is class, comma, attribute value is what? Call SM8, isn't it? Sorry, I've written class 2 times because I pasted it. Call SM8. Now, ideally, my expectation here is it will give me all the div text wherein this is a partial text. So ideally, it should give me this element as well, wherein header 1 is also included. Call SM8H1. Okay. Here I'm using contains function. So guys, the takeaway or learning in this specific example was you can use a partial search on the attribute, partial text search on the attribute. So here contains will help you achieve that. So here we are trying to fetch all the elements that contains a specific attribute value. Contains. It's not matching exactly. It's checking if it contains this text or not. Here there are 2 values. Cool. But let's say, for example, we want to match a specific text, like exactly match a specific text. So let's choose music. Let's choose music over here. So how about I need all the tags where music is present. Now see this problem statement. I need all the tags where music is present. Now let me first inspect this thing. Inspect, and inspect and music. Here it is. And guys, please note here there is a space which is at the prefix and space at the suffix. So you need to be very vigilant about this. It's not just the music as in text, but it's a space at the start and at the end. Anyways, I need all the tags. I need all the elements where music is present as a text. So search anywhere in the DOM with the wildcard star that contains the text music. So now I'll search for music. Now this is robust XPath because even if there is a space at the start and the end of this text of this web element, it will still search it successfully, and here it is. It gives you music, even though there is a space at the start at the end, because we are using the contains function here. Okay, are we getting this, guys? I hope, is this clear or is this completely unclear or very difficult to grasp? All
Yeah.
right. Okay, thanks for confirming. Okay. Okay. This gives me one more scenario, and it's a little tricky scenario. How about if I have written m in small? So will it be able to identify the text? No, because they are insensitive. XPaths are in case insensitive. In this case, you have to basically make your XPath expression case insensitive. And the way you do it is a little tricky. I'll explain you how it's done, but I'll ask you to implement it at your end. So what happens is you basically write like /* which means check the DOM to find all the elements that contains the text. Now, instead of writing the text directly, you use a function called as translate. You use a function called as translate. Inside the translate function, what you supply? You supply your text. What you want to translate? You want to translate text, but which text? So you want to translate A, B, C, D, E. I'll not keep on writing until this point, until Z. Okay. You have to mention everything until Z. Okay. I've just mentioned ... but you have to mention everything in caps until Z. Then you have to translate this to small cases A, B, C, D, ... until Z. And then you have to provide your value over here. Value means what value? The value, which is in this case was music. So anyways, if you have written music like this, or music with U capital S, like in camel case or something like this, really doesn't matter. It will make your expression case insensitive, and now it will figure out music anywhere inside the DOM and it will give you the results. I'll request you to do this. The only painstaking task is to write these letters until A to Z. Okay, so please try at your end. I hope translate function is clear. What we are translating the text. Which text? This text in caps into small. And this translate function ends over here. Comma, music. Music belongs to contains. So it contains, first argument is what? First object that we used to give, comma, the value. So contains, first argument is the attribute, and second argument is the value of that attribute, which is music. Cool, perfect. Okay, guys, I think we are good until this point. What we'll be doing is now is we'll try to I'll have already given you a exercise on GitHub. Okay, I'll show it to you. This is an XPath assessment docs. It's just MCQ, multiple choice question, 15, I guess. Attempt it. I think almost all of them should be very much clear to you. Few of them would be, I think, out of syllabus from today's session. Need not worry. We'll take it in the next session, but then you attempt it, and then you also please attempt this regular expression tutorial exercise. This is an IPYNB file, and if you go ahead and check this file, which it is here, you will see a scenario like extracting all the Twitter handles from the following text. Okay, how do you extract it? So the text is provided over here. Now all that you have to do is you have to provide a pattern over here and then run this to get your answers. Text is provided, you have to find the pattern to find all the Twitter handles. Let's say for each other scenarios, the problem statement is mentioned. And for the third scenario also, the problem statement is mentioned. All you need to do is identify the text, run this, and get the matches. So I would leave you with these two exercises for now. Okay. And I would like you to come, like, I mean, MCQs, you will be able to do it in like next 10-15 minutes. And these exercises over here, this one would take you another like 20-25 minutes possibly to perform all of this. Okay. So is that okay with all of you? Would you like to give this a try? And then we connect later with all of your findings, and then we move ahead with new topics for APIs and working with Python, Beautiful Soup, the requests library. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Please attempt this. The session is still on, okay? And like at the end, like at around 11-ish, we'll try to again see like what is the status, and then you can submit your answers. I really want you to create your own GitHub repositories, because at the end, I would be needing that for evaluation purpose. So instead of giving you surprise at the last day, I'll let you know that, okay, all the exercises that we are doing, we really need it to be uploaded in your GitHub repository. If it is not there, please make one and upload it over there. And also provide your documents to the coordinators as well, as and when needed, so that we can have the evaluations done. All right, that's all from my side. Aman,